very best?
Healthcare obviously is from the state side has been invading our life for quite a while now, since 2010ish, when if you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor, all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
How do you make healthcare and insurance more accessible to people in Oklahoma?
Yes, by getting the government out of it. One great analogy that I got from Jo Jorgensen that she used to use all the time on the campaign trail was she would always talk about the best way to equate a free market healthcare system that really works is if you look at stuff like LASIK and cosmetic surgery. Because like right now, LASIK, I like to tell this story specifically. LASIK eye surgery, you can get buy one eye, get one free. You can pay like $600 and have laser surgery on your eyes.
And they tell you what the cost is up front.
And they tell you what the cost is. You can make payments on it if you need to. $600. With my dental insurance, do you know how much money I had to pay to have a root canal and a cap put on last year?
Oh,
over $900.
I was gonna say at least that much.
How does that make sense? Or even better yet, here's another perfect example. So one of my daughters, I have twin daughters, has ADHD, and she gets prescribed Adderall. So for whatever reason last year, they forgot, or a year and a half ago when I started my new employer, they forgot to update the insurance. So they still had me as private pay. So essentially, like usually the drug is like $150 a month. But I had like a coupon that they could apply that made it like, right around 50 or so. But the coupon, I guess, had changed right about the time that my insurance changed. So it dropped it down to like 40 something. So I didn't realize until 2 months ago that they never put my insurance on there. I've been paying the private pay amount this whole time. So I finally had them update it, and the cost for my prescription went up.
Yeah, of course. It's not going to go down.
And I'm like,
so silly.
Just take it back off. I'll prefer the private pay version with the coupon. Thank you. It's when we add, because it just makes sense. If you have a business and you're like, oh, well, I have insurance and they're going to pay it no matter what. So I'll spend like 10 grand, or, if I do private pay, then I'll make it affordable. They jack up the prices because they know that they'll get paid. And it's unfortunate. And I even have a personal story even outside of that on how broken healthcare is here.
Mm-hmm.
So as I mentioned, I'm a breast cancer survivor, right? So I have this crazy story. And when I tell it, I always tell people, like, I know it sounds like one of those crazy kind of stories that couldn't really happen, but I promise you it really happened. So I decided, I was doing marketing and advertising, and I wanted to go back to college. And so I decided to stop, and I got a job dealing blackjack at a casino here because I used to deal that. I'm really good, and it's decent money. So I went back to that. I was there for 2 months, got into a car accident. Okay. Broke my hand. I had a spiral fracture, so I couldn't deal cards because I had a cast on, and, you can conceal chips. So, I lost my job, and I wasn't there long enough to have insurance anyways. 2 weeks later is when I found the lump in my breast that showed I had breast cancer. Okay. So in the meantime, obviously I had no income and no job, no insurance, but they had an Oklahoma CARES program that was like, okay, if you make under, like, I think it was like 50,000 or something like that, we will pay for, your treatment. So I was doing that, but me being the person I am, I can't not work. So as soon, like literally, I went to a job interview at Tyler Media radio station, like 2 days after I had my bilateral mastectomy. And they were like, okay, you can have the job. Like, I had my tubes and stuff still connected. Like, please go home.
Rest.
They're like, you're hired. Okay. It's a true story. So I got the job. I went back to work. I was doing really good. I got insurance, but they still were like supplemental to kind of help me out. And then my twin daughters, their father passed away. Okay. So it was an unexpected health issue that he had. So when he passed away, they started getting his death benefits. The moment I started getting their death benefits, it went through the state that I was receiving those. They never even told me, and they cut my insurance off. And so until I got a $180,000 medical bill in the mail for a surgery that I had. And I was like, how is this helping people? Like, how the heck was this one surgery $180,000? And I dug into it, and it's like, oh, well, had it been private pay, it would have been this. And I had to renegotiate all that. And luckily, the hospital worked with me. But I'm like, how broken of a system is it that my surgery was going to cost $180,000, but it only cost me like 20 whenever I paid for it myself?
That, I mean, like to stress somebody out who's in recovery, or stress somebody out who's with a problem, like a health problem. It's the most asinine, only the state and the murders and thieves at the state level, federal or, state could cook up something like that. It's just like, Jesus, this is
Absolutely.
like in any normal, consensual exchange, like all this is done up front, or maybe even within your community, maybe it's done afterwards because, hey, you're going through some stuff, and we'll figure this stuff out, right? Like I know it sounds like a crazy idea where consentful people get together and they just
Right?
go, hey man, you want to do this?
Let's just
Yeah, I
work
do
something
too.
out.
Yeah, it's crazy to me. Well,